Hi guys, so today I'm here with the second part in my British names that are not popular in the US video, and this is going to be the girls' names. So in this video I'm going to be talking about names that are popular in England and Wales that are not popular at all in the United States. If you haven't seen the boys video, I will link it in the description box below, but I'm just going to go ahead and get started with the girls' names. So the first name I have on this list is Imogen. Imogen was number 37 in 2016 in England and Wales, and it was number 1383 in the US. I am so surprised that this name has not caught on in the United States yet. It is so beautiful. Imogen was actually a name that was created accidentally by Shakespeare when he meant to use the name Imogen, but when his play got printed, it was accidentally printed as Imogen. So it was a very happy accident, I guess, because it created a beautiful name. And it has been gaining popularity in Britain, but it's actually not in the top 1,000 yet in the US. And I think Imogen has so many cute nickname possibilities like Immy, Jen, Jenny. I think those would all be adorable nickname options. The next name I have on this list is Harriet. Harriet is number 49 in England and Wales and number 1349 in the US. Harriet is such a beautiful, gorgeous feminine form of the name Henry, which means home ruler. And Harriet was used in Jane Austen and Charles Dickens. I see it as a very British name, but I think it would work so well on a US baby as well. It has not been in the top 1,000 in the US since 1970. I think it's ready for a comeback. And there are so many sweet nicknames for Harriet, like Hattie, Hetty, even Tatty is one that I've heard. The next name I have is Lottie. Lottie was number 72 in England and Wales and number 1981 in the US. It's an English diminutive of Charlotte, and I think it is a nickname name that can definitely stand on its own and would make an adorable alternative to Charlotte, which is very popular in both England and Wales and in the US right now. The next name I have is Orla. Orla was number 107 in England and Wales, and it was only used 30 times in the US in 2016, so not popular at all. It's an Anglicization of an Irish name that means golden princess, so that's definitely a winning meaning. It's also number 92 in Northern Ireland and number 29 in Scotland. It's very rare in the US, but it is a similar feel to Isla and Mila, and it could absolutely work on a little girl born in the US in 2018. The next name I have is Seren. Seren is number 145 in England and Wales and was only used 62 times in the US in 2016. It's a beautiful Welsh name that means star, and I think it could make a really sweet alternative to Sarah. It could also honor any name that means star, like Stella or Estelle or Esther, any of those names. And it has an exotic feel, but it's still really easy to say and spell, and I think it definitely has a future outside of Wales. The next name I have is Zuzanna. Zuzanna was 171 in England and Wales and only used 30 times in the US. It's a Slavic variation of Susanna, and it means lily, so beautiful meaning, and it could definitely honor a Susan or a Susanna in a more exotic and modern way. This name is also ranked number 2 in Poland. And again, this name is exotic, but it's still usable and accessible to English speakers. It's not too out there. I think it would work really well in the US. The next name I have is Zoya. Zoya was number 215 in England and Wales and number 1149 in the US. Zoya is actually a Russian and Ukrainian form of the name Zoe, so it could definitely be an alternative to all the forms of Zoe that are so popular in the US. And I could definitely see this name gaining popularity in the US in future years because it has a unique sound and exotic feel, but again, it is easy for people to spell and to say. The next name I have is Jemima. Jemima was number 221 in England and Wales, but only used 44 times in the US in 2016. Jemima means dove in Hebrew, and in the Bible Jemima is the eldest daughter of Job. And I love this name so much. I cannot believe it is not being used more often. I know that it is still somewhat associated with the Aunt Jemima pancake mix, but I feel like that association maybe is not as strong as it once was. And I love that you can get the nicknames Jem or Gemma. I feel like that makes it more accessible. I think this is one that US parents should definitely look at and consider. The next name I have is Primrose. Primrose was number 232 in England and Wales and only used 59 times in the US. It's such a quaint and kind of quirky flower name. It sounds totally British to me, but Suzanne Collins did use it in her Hunger Games novels, and I think some American parents are kind of taking notice since she used it for a character. It comes from Latin and means first rose, and I think this name would make a really sweet and unexpected middle name choice if you aren't quite brave enough to use it as a first name. The next name I have is Polly. Polly was number 234 in England and Wales, and it was only used 51 times in the US in 2016. Polly is actually a medieval variant of Molly, and it just sounds like the name of a little sweet spunky girl in a storybook to me. It has a very, very British sound, but I would love to meet a little girl in North America named Polly. It definitely fits in with that P trend we're seeing in the US with names like Penelope and Piper and Pearl, all those names that are gaining popularity but is definitely nowhere near as popular as those other P names. The next name I have is Constance. Constance was number 244 in England and Wales, but number 1499 in the US. It's an English virtue name that has a lot of history as the name of a princess, the daughter of William the Conqueror. It's also Shakespearean and was the name of a passenger on the Mayflower, so lots of history there. Constance is a very sweet sounding name, but you can also have the spunkier nickname Connie or even Stacy, so I think this one is really a winner. The next name I have is Audley. Audley was number 310 in England and Wales and was only used 15 times in the US. It is a German name that means prosperous in battle. It's a feminine form of the name Otto. It is such a beautiful name, and I think it should definitely be used more, especially in the US where it is virtually unheard of, and it hasn't been in the top 1,000 since 1904. Ottilia is another beautiful variation of this name, and Tilly can be a nickname. The name Tilly was actually ranked number 140 in England and Wales on its own in 2016, but was all the way down at number 2325 in the US. And Tilly can be a nickname for several names, but it also works well as a name by itself. The next name I have is Philippa. Philippa was number 333 in England and Wales, but was only used 74 times for girls in 2016 in the US. Philippa is very British sounding to me, but that might be because it is the name of Kate Middleton's younger sister. It's a feminine form of the name Philip, meaning lover of horses, and it really surprised me how unpopular this name was in the United States. I think it would make a very fresh choice for American parents. Philippa is often given the nickname Pippa, and Pippa ranked number 127 on its own in England and Wales, and only ranked number 1970 in the US. And Pippa just has such a fresh, spunky sound that we see in names like Paisley and Piper and Penny. I think it would work very well by itself or as a nickname for Philippa. The next name I have is Verity. Verity was ranked number 354 in England and Wales, but was only used 72 times in the US in 2016. Verity is a virtue name that means truth, so it has a very pretty meaning, and it could be a great alternative to more popular virtue names like Faith and Hope. And I think the nickname Vera or Vera could be a very, very pretty nickname option. The next name I have is Sapphire. Sapphire was number 366 in England and Wales and only number 1402 in the US. It was a name that I was actually surprised wasn't in the US top 1000. It is my favorite gemstone name, and I think it sounds beautiful, and it also looks beautiful when you see it written out. Sapphire could be a Sophia or Sophie alternative. And Sapphire is the birthstone of September, and I feel like it would make a wonderful choice for a little girl born in that month. And this is another one that if you're not brave enough to use in the first name spot, I think would make a beautiful middle name choice. And the last name I have is Pixie. Pixie was number 423 in England and Wales and was only used 9 times in 2016 in the US. Pixie is of course a word that means a little fairy. It makes me think of fairy tales and bedtime stories, but it has a charm to it that I think makes it work as a name. British parents have obviously seen the possibility of it working as a name, and it's in the top 500 in England and Wales, but I think it would make a really interesting choice for a brave namer in the US. I personally have used this name in a novel that I'm currently writing for a minor character, but she is born in 2047, this character, so maybe in the future it will be more popular. Do you guys think that this name is usable as a baby name? I'm curious to hear what you guys think about this one. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your favorites from this list were and what your favorite British baby names are. Thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.